Welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed, our first ever college football episode. Back with the man, AJ. Barron can't make it. He's out. So we got a special guest that we want to bring in all the time. Will, how you feeling?
Doing good. Feels good to be on the podcast. Obviously, y'all talked about making this all of last year, so it's good to see it come to fruition.
Damn shit.
Yeah. Excited to talk some college football.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for this one.
Oh, yeah.
So we heard a lot of y'all wanted us to talk about college football, and NFL will stay, all right? Barron's horrible takes will stay.
Of course.
But we're going to talk about
No
college
need to worry.
football. And what a kind of start of the year we've had, especially with – I want to talk first just about what I want to think about Colorado, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, I just want to say the over-under line was 3.5. I had the under 3.5. Holy crap, was I wrong. And I didn't bet it, but I was like, oh my gosh, they're already 2-0. They're definitely going to win 7-8 games now at least.
Oh, for their total, like their win total?
Yeah, their win total was 3.5.
Yeah, no, I can agree. I did not believe in Colorado at all. I
Not
think
at
they're
all.
the biggest surprise in the college football world
I feel like
right
any
now,
football
too.
right now.
Yeah, in any football.
I mean, you see the viewing numbers, they get 8 million.
Yeah.
It's the
stuff like
second
that.
most viewed game of the week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Besides Bama.
prime time was
Good old
Bama.
Colorado
Yeah.
versus Nebraska. Like,
Crazy.
Yeah.
You see the
Nebraska.
yeah.
you see the attendance difference from like the first week or their first home game last year to obviously the Nebraska
Yeah,
game. It's just
like
unbelievable.
in between the two games, the home
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
I mean,
There was like
prime
barely any
effect,
seats
it's
like
crazy.
taken.
It's the Dion effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the entire program effect. That they hired that man without any money. That's crazy.
Yeah, they got
Yeah,
the
but
money
now
now,
they
bro.
got-
I know,
they
all
got
the
it,
money.
yeah.
They got all the money they want.
Yeah.
All right, so Will, since you're a guest, I want to ask you first, kind of your thoughts on only Dion as a coach, but how he kind of transcends college football in general.
Well, obviously we watched him in Jackson State, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, great coach. Obviously a great motivator. I mean, you see him talking about how everything's personal. Obviously, it's, obviously transcending to the players. You see Shador, how the whole Matt Rule thing about them meeting at the buff and midfield.
Yeah.
That
And
was
they
weird.
turn little things like that into, this whole motivational thing, and
He makes everything personal.
they honestly do.
So what was this real story behind?
Well,
the
Matt Rule
thing?
claimed, and apparently according to all these comments I'm reading, that Matt Rule lies about stuff. I don't know
Hey,
how
he lied on
valid.
the Panthers,
But
bro. I saw that man coach as a
he
Falcons fan.
he claimed that the Nebraska or the coaching staff and the Nebraska players were praying midfield, and they asked Shador to join him because Shador obviously wasn't happy with it.
Yeah.
And Colorado didn't like that, especially because it's on the logo.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm hearing.
I don't blame him. It does look bad when you have the whole team surrounding
Right.
your logo.
Yeah, but like we
He
had.
says
like,
they always do it.
I've seen people like pray both teams on the logo, like away and
Yeah,
home.
but that's like different. That's like everyone will like get on one knee and like
Yeah,
have
maybe
your
in the end
arms
zone,
around
but
each
not
other.
in
Yeah.
midfield.
And they gotta do that post game too, more
Right.
more so than pregame.
that pregame speech too was like, no, it's personal.
Yeah.
No, it's
that
personal.
team's got swag. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
there's another instance where I think Nebraska, I don't know which player, but Shador and a Nebraska player were kind of chewing it out pregame.
Yeah.
And Shador doesn't even talk. He just holds up his watch at
That's-
his face.
that's
And I'm
daddy's
like, he's
NIL
flexing.
Showing that
It's
money.
that NIL and his daddy's money right
Yeah.
there.
Honestly. He's
I don't
talking
even
to
think it's
Maybach.
daddy's money. I think it's his own money.
Yeah,
now.
because you know why? Because he's Dion's kid, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah,
way he's playing
true.
now is crazy still, but if you go to Colorado just in general, you ain't getting that watch if
Yeah.
Dion's not there.
Well, no one's going there if Dion's not there.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
No.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Not a
just
chance.
look at their program before Dion.
Exactly.
It
So
was
that
horrible.
watch was credited to his father, in my opinion.
I mean,
So
yeah.
it's kind of a weird.
I mean, the whole team has. But yeah.
Yeah.
The reason he's the starting quarterback is because of his dad.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey,
he's
right,
literally
he's like-
the
he's
coach's son.
He's like fourth in Heisman odds right now too, though.
No, I mean it's working. Everyone
Yeah.
was hating on him. Oh, he didn't deserve the job. Like the only reason he's a starter is because he's Dion's son.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously that's not the case. Kid can actually ball.
Yeah, well, that game started slow, 36-14, but it was like 0-0 after the first. Halftime went in 13-0, finished 36-14.
Yeah.
Colorado's 2-0. They got Colorado State next. College game days there, by the
Yep.
way.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That is wild.
yeah. Lee Corson
Is
makes
that
his
the first time
400th
they've
pick.
ever been to Colorado? Has to be, I feel
I
like.
feel
I
like
mean,
one
it's
of-
gotta
It's gotta
be.
be.
Yeah.
dude.
There's no other reason to go to Colorado.
Yeah, there's really
Yeah.
not.
Their
Unless there's
basketball
like some
probably
resurgence
not.
like 20 years ago I forgot about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that could be one of the first times Lee Corson makes his 400th headgear pick. Shout out Lee Corson. I know you don't watch. And then
Hey, one day.
I don't-
one day, bro.
I don't know what he does right now, but
He's a little senile.
yeah.
Damn,
that,
calls
bro.
us out, bro.
No,
Calls
he,
us
I
out.
mean,
agree.
he is.
I mean, he does have to go.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he's,
he's-
I
he's
get
on the way out.
I get he's
dude.
like an icon, like Have him in the show at the end. He'll do his picks. Doesn't
Yeah.
have to say anything else.
He can barely
Give
get
your
him out.
picks, put the mascot head on, and call it a day.
And then walk him out.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
That's all I watch.
Because like watching him like trying to talk and like explain his picks,
Yeah,
it's
tough.
just like it hurts.
The only
But
reason
it's fun to see him there. I
hurts.
mean, he's the identity of the show.
Exactly.
Right.
He's
Like,
the
the
OG.
only reason I watch him though is headgear and picks, and then like not so fast.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah.
Like, that's the best
Yeah.
parts of the show.
Yeah.
Now,
some
give him like
iconic
10
moments.
words max, and we're good.
But then like
We're good.
people are like, I love college getting. It's like I wake up at 9 in the morning and they're like talking about the same thing for 2.5 hours, and then it gets to the picks. That's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah,
They have
that's
some
true.
cool things though.
At least they
And-
got McAfee now, though.
Yeah,
That's really.
McAfee's
Yeah,
fine.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like you, but
No,
It's all the
man,
old
that's
heads.
fine.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, all the old.
He
heads
brings
are
life to the show. He makes
Why
me
is he
want to sit
wearing
there
a
and watch
tank
it.
top
Yeah.
under his suit?
Cowboy
So
boots, the belt buckle.
unprofessional. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we saw Colorado take
Yep.
down Nebraska,
Mm-hmm.
but let's talk about the number one viewed game: Hook'em, Bama, blue blood game.
Yeah.
Texas goes in there and knocks off Bama
Yeah.
in Bryant-Denny, also beating the longest home winning streak. Throw out some nostalgia right there. Some pain for us.
Was it?
Yeah,
Wow.
20
Yeah.
like 21
Hard to bring
straight.
that up. I don't want to think about that. on our end.
Exactly. I think 21 straight it was. So
No, well.
goes in there, beats off save. Whoa.
Wait.
Put that one in the sus count.
wow.
Beats
Y'all
Saban
need a sus
I-
count.
off his own game. Hey, bro, put that in the sus moments.
Yeah.
The out of context clips. But yeah, Steve Sarkisian. What a
Yeah.
guy.
Honestly.
Ooh. How did Quinn Ewers look? What do y'all think about that?
I mean, I didn't catch a whole lot of the game. I just watched the highlights, but I mean, he was throwing some money deep balls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought I saw something on Instagram. I could be wrong. I know the three players that I think I saw. I believe it was like the last three quarterbacks to go into Alabama and win a game. I believe no, it was four in order. I think Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, Joe Burrow, and now Quinn Ewers.
That's crazy.
And those three guys won
Oh
the
yeah.
Heisman.
It's been a while.
So I mean, they're all Heisman
Oh,
winners.
so-
So what I'm saying
So
is,
history's bound to repeat itself.
I'm just saying it's it's a trend
Yeah,
yeah.
that we've seen. But
Definitely isn't, but
Yeah.
that game peaked at what 10.8 million viewers.
yeah,
which is like the
10.8.
most
I think it averaged around 8.9,
roughly
8.8,
is something like
something
that.
like that. I saw Brett McMurphy tweet it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that deep ball he had was it Donovan Mitchell? He caught it
Mhm.
back
You
of
talking
the
about
end
like the
zone.
moon ball that
Yeah.
he threw?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
What
dude,
a
that was an
throw.
air for ever, dude.
Like I saw that once with Cade last year, and I thought the program was
Oh
bad
yeah,
for
the
Clemson.
UNC Cole
Yeah.
Turner.
Of course.
And now-
Here we are.
And then here we are.
Yeah.
Back
The
on
viewers
track.
know where we are. I'm
Back
sure. I
on
mean, you see
track.
the ball.
Yeah.
Do y'all think, Jalen Milroe's there? He didn't have his best game. He had, I think, 3 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns versus Middle Tennessee State, which is the only Bama quarterback to do that ever in a game. And now this happened. Do y'all think, not even about Jalen Milroe and Bama now, but do y'all think the Bama dynasty is kind of coming, down and just ending, or do you think it's still going to come back up?
I don't think the Bama dynasty is over. Like they've had obviously losses early in the season and then went on to win the national champion. I mean, I thought the Bama dynasty was over in the first half of in the national championship game.
Which one?
And then I think 2017 when they lost early, I think to Ole Miss, like early in the season.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And everyone's like, "Oh, dynasty's over that season," and then
Yeah.
here we are.
I think that was the game where they like the pick in the back of the end zone or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's becoming more of a commonality. You see Bama losing mostly on the road, especially Neyland and Kyle Field the past couple of years.
Mhm.
But same with Clemson. I mean, you see us losing a lot on the road, and obviously it results in field stormings and all that. So, I mean, I don't want to say it's over per se, but I feel like they're definitely becoming more, what's the right word, vulnerable, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a good one. I
Yeah.
feel like this is
I
going to
think
be like,
the window just opening up for more teams now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be another last year scenario where, they didn't go to the college football playoff. They went to the Sugar Bowl
Yep.
versus Kansas
Beat
State.
up
and then
Kansas State.
They blew them out of the water, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the score was, but it was a lot.
But I think they put up 40-something points against
Yeah,
Kansas State.
definitely.
And I just don't think Bama has what it takes to make it to the playoff this year. Especially with Jalen Milroe, the quarterback. He's very good on his feet. And when we were watching that game live, I kept saying, make Jalen Milroe run more read options or just scramble out of the
Yeah.
pocket, right?
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying to run like Bryce Young offense
Yeah.
with him, and he's just not.
Like he throwing 20, 25 yards, and
Yeah.
he just doesn't. The pick six only got really close. Didn't see the safety go over the middle. Like he was making
Yeah.
mistakes all night. So shout out Texas.
I mean, to be fair, they were down. They were down kind of later in the game, and they kind of need to throw, and then
Yeah.
that's when the pick six happened.
How many
But
picks did he
still.
throw overall? It was like
2.
Yeah.
I think he threw 2.
I mean, didn't
Sloppy.
look great at all,
No.
but
But-
it's kind of too early to tell. Is is if Texas is really good or is Bama not as good.
Yeah, you went 14.
I think we can say that about a lot of teams. You can say that about Florida State. You can say that about Notre Dame. You can say that about all these teams that are kind of blowing teams out the water and shocking.
He did have
some people.
255 yards in the air, though. I mean, it's not bad. So he did 9.4 yards per attempt. So he's actually throwing the ball, decently well, especially some catch after the run for some Bama receivers. But other than that, just some throws just looked ill-advised. I feel like, when you use your feet and you kind of keep the defense guessing, that's when some holes can open up. And I feel like that's what should be his strength. That's what we kind of saw against Middle Tennessee State, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Make him just move. Make him work out of the pocket, and just make him take some zone reads as well. Yeah. It makes the offense completely different.
I mean, I'm sure Nick Saban has a plan. That's the last thing I want to do is count Nick Saban out.
Yeah.
Because next thing you know, Alabama's on a down year, and then they end up in the national championship.
Pissed off Bama's dangerous. I don't know what player there said it was a defensive lineman, I think, but he was like, yeah, we're pissed off. I mean, I guess, any loss, I guess
every team's,
But I feel like Bama being pissed off, it's like just a different level.
Yeah.
You got Saban.
Because Saban's coming in there at 5:45 a.m.
Yeah, they're getting
after a loss with a little straw hat.
It's like what Jahmyr Gibbs said, when it was like they beat you down in the heat and stuff like that. Like, Saban would make your ass work at like 100 degrees, and then he went to Detroit, and he's like, oh, there's a little bit.
Like,
that's crazy.
You know it's not easy,
no, it's not.
With Saban.
Not at all. But then we talk about the Bama dynasty. Let's talk about our team, Clemson, right? It's mostly sadly right now. Look, loss against Duke week 1. Charleston Southern looked like a struggle.
I didn't know
first quarter, not even first quarter, first half.
Yeah.
Up 3 against, you were 50.5-point favorites.
I thought it was 24-17 and a half, wasn't it?
I think it was 21-17 and a half.
4.
Was it? We had the last second field goal, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Robert Gunn is.
Yeah. Still, 24-17, 7-point lead. You're 50-point favorites. I mean, they almost covered. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But
42-0 second half.
Still. And it looked like another case of like the backups were also good. Like, when DJ came out last year, Cade looked good, and we were like, oh my God, Cade. And then when Trevor got COVID and he was injured, and DJ came in, we're like, oh my God, DJ looks insane.
Yeah.
That's what's
for the most, what was it, the most passing yards ever thrown against any Notre Dame team in history. I forget what the exact number was. But
He threw like 460.
And then we played, what was it, Boston College week before that,
I
believe, and he threw like 350 at least. It was crazy.
Like what the hell happened with the offense? Like now it's just dump down, check down, quick routes.
Dude.
You got guys with arm talent. So what do y'all think is the issue with Clemson?
Where to start?
Well, I think you should be highlighting the Duke game over the Charleston Southern game. Like
let's start
because
there.
It's. All right. I mean, it's Charleston Southern. Obviously, you look strong, but then second half they kind of pick things up, figure things out. But I think the answer is pretty clear to everyone. The only problem is they're not adapting to the college football scene.
Yeah, they're not. Like
with everyone else, transfer portal, NIL, just things like that. And I think that's even happening with many teams like Alabama, LSU potentially, like all those big like recruiting schools aren't being able to recruit anymore because these schools are just building like super teams.
Yeah,
and it's like, how can you compete that way? And I think Clemson just has to adjust.
Yeah.
Same with Alabama more so than Clemson has, but every team kind of needs to.
I mean, Dabo. He coined the phrase, I think it was in 2015, good old Clemson. Remember when he said that? And I just feel like that's where we're still at. It's like we're just old-fashioned. I mean, nothing wrong with that, I guess. But, I mean, in this day and age, it is. It's a problem.
Now it's good old, where do you get the most money?
Right.
That's where you go.
Definitely. Because like, before NIL, to me, it felt like if you're a high recruit, who's going to prep you for the NFL, right? And I felt like Saban was, like, the best person to go to, right? Mm-hmm. Georgia was kind of getting on that trend, right? You got Ohio State, kind of these coaches like Urban Meyer, who's gonna like whoop your ass, so that your NFL, like I just said about Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Yeah. Like you're gonna be NFL ready, you're gonna be picked in here, you're gonna be looked at, Clemson, Bama, all that stuff. Now it's, to me, I feel like it's all about NIL, right? Transfer portal's crazy, and Clemson's not utilizing it.
No.
Like before we looked at FSU, and I was like, Keon Coleman came from Michigan State, right? And they balled crazy on LSU.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need to use the transfer portal because we can get guys from, look at Tez Walker, UNC, he's not playing, right? Mm-hmm. But still, he came from Kent State, and he came from like North Carolina State and stuff like that. Like you have these guys from small programs who are really good, who transfer to these schools and make impact players. They don't always have to like just recruit 5 stars straight out the game. You know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you can always count on the, Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, all those schools to, recruit the best players.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at, like you said earlier, FSU, for example, like 8 out of their 11 like offensive starters are all transfers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's just how every winning team is gonna be now. And if teams don't adjust, then they're not gonna succeed. And I do have to say the NCAA is trying to limit that, because they're kind of seeing how it's affecting. Literally every player is just going back and forth. So they put the kind of that ban right before the Tez Walker.
Yeah.
And then he didn't get ruled eligible, and then that's kind of when it stirred everything. So they are trying to control it, because it is getting out of hand fast, in my opinion.
I think it is too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you? So you like the idea of the new rule for the NCAA, kind of limiting transfers?
I do. Yeah. Because if they didn't, then teams would just leave every year to wherever they have the most money. Recruiting is going to be completely thrown in the trash.
Exactly.
There's no incentive of recruiting at all, and you can just have players playing for one team one year, maybe not even playing that year, and then decided, oh, I lost my starting job, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Yeah. When, and you can do that multiple times in an off season. It's literally just end up like free agency.
So what do you think about that, about transfer portal?
I think, I like the steps NCAA is hopefully taking. Obviously, I'm not as familiar with that whole thing, but obviously regulations need to be put in, because it's just crazy.
I think it is an issue too.
Yeah.
But I feel like NIL's also kind of gone out of control.
That too. That's the main. Yeah.
And I'm not even trying to be like a biased Clemson fan, but I feel like you shouldn't be able to get offered money.
Yeah.
I feel like I thought when NIL was being said, it was like, oh, you're at the school. Oh, you're gonna get a deal from here. You're gonna get a deal from here. Not like guaranteed. Like, we're gonna hand you $2 million. Like, that's what I feel like is crazy to me. Like, I thought it'd be like, oh, they use your jersey, oh, you get money, right? So like that's why I thought the bigger schools, the Ohio States, the Michigans, Clemson, still even have smaller towns while they're in big football.
No, that hurts recruiting even more than transfer portal.
Yeah,
because you're never gonna have a not 5-star tier team. Yeah. Like get a recruit.
Have to pay the hell to win.
Yeah, I mean, all these 18-year-old kids are just gonna follow the money. It's just how it is.
Well, it was also like that secretly too.
Yeah,
like it was always shady,
been a thing.
Yeah. I don't know if it was that much, but like Tennessee with the McDonald's bags, Yeah. Like there's always some shady shit going on.
Yeah.
So you never know in that way.
But going back to Clemson, do y'all not to talk
about
go
ahead.
We'll keep it brief. But as far as we'll focus on the loss to Duke. I mean, if we're talking from a talent perspective, I saw a stat or whatever you want to call it, and it compared the amount of 4 and 5 stars on Duke and Clemson. Clemson had 56 4 and 5 stars compared to Duke's 2. Mm-hmm. And obviously, Clemson has, we watched Duke and the Charleston Southern game, massive turnover problems. So as far as the Clemson dynasty ending, what are your thoughts on that all being related to NIL and the transfer portal, or is there multiple things going on? You got hiring from within as well with the defensive coordinators and stuff.
I mean, I think it's just a combination of all three of what you said: transfer portal, NIL, the big thing, and then you're obviously having coaches, shifting more now than how they've ever been. So I think all of them are a factor, and I hope that they can get it under control. And I think the NIL is making or not the NIL, NCAA is making the good steps towards it.
I think it's out of those three, I think the biggest issue is the transfer portal.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because you can go from a smaller school, and if you get an offer from Clemson, that's a multiple-time national championship winner, always winning the ACC. Like, that's not a blue blood, but that is a pretty big dynasty right there, right?
Yeah.
So, if you come from these smaller schools, you get an offer from Clemson, you're more likely to join, a higher touted school, in my opinion, than follow the money for 1 year, especially if you're trying to make the NFL. That's just my opinion.
I mean, yeah.
That's what you see these guys, Keon Coleman, Michigan State, Tez Walker, and, Kent State. You got guys coming from small programs going to bigger schools. And the reason I think it's a bigger issue than recruiting is because every single time we say a kid coming from college to the NFL, right? The game's different. It moves at a different pace. Same thing with high school. College is a different pace. It's a different movement, right? I feel like you can definitely be more successful at high school to college and college to NFL, but still, it's a different speed. Everything's faster. You have these guys who are 21, 22s played in NCAA level, right? FCS, FBS, who's seen the speed of the game, who's more mature, who's had more body of work, right? You have these guys come out of high school. They haven't been in the game yet. They're not mature, right? You can definitely, 5 stars are still 5 stars. They're still amazing, but you still have maturity and experience and all that stuff can be a huge factor in kind of how you go. Like Stetson Bennett, you got a 26-year-old goddamn playing quarterback, a 25-year-old.
Yeah, right? A grown man now.
Yeah.
Like he better like have some experience, and he damn well looks really good.
I mean, experience is key.
Exactly. So that's why I think it's the biggest issue. If I had to pick.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think it's just all three of the biggest problems.
But do you think it's balanced, or do you think there's one that's specific, like that's the one that's the most killing? Like I said, transfer portal.
I mean, they're both harming. They're both have their positive and negatives like in their own ways. But I think if going back to earlier, if we're talking about the bigger teams, that's who it hurts the most. But you kind of have these mid-level team, not like mid-levels, but like still good teams. It kind of opens everything, like in terms of making the college football playoff. It's opening everything up for
especially now that expanding. What is it next year now?
Yeah,
they're going to 8,
12.
12. That's too many. We can get into that. I mean,
because you have the buys and then into it.
The only positives that I see in that is just the fact you get home games. But I mean,
that's
still,
if you don't get a buy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, definitely. That's a lot of teams.
That's too many.
That's more games
for the playoffs. Yeah.
I mean, football is just one. It's too. We don't have to get into it too much, but I mean, it's such obviously a physical sport, and just playing that many extra games, just like, do we really need that? I don't know.
But I mean, I think their argument is like the NFL just added an extra game. Yeah. So like, if you go all the way, then you're literally just playing an NFL season, just a regular season.
We know what the actual argument is. Money. It's all about money.
Yeah.
Always is.
That's their fake argument. Their real argument is money.
Well, I'm talking about like in response is like the concern of the safety of the players.
Okay, word.
Like they can prove it that way.
Money. They don't give a
well,
hell.
I mean, everything else. Yeah, everything's about it. Yeah. All the whole conference realignment, money, all the TV deals, NIL. I mean, everything.
True. So, let's talk about Heisman. I was talking about Shedeur Sanders earlier. He's getting the most bets for Heisman, as you've probably seen. There's the returning favorite, Caleb Williams. There's Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. Those are kind of the top 3 right now.
Yeah.
If you have any other options, you can say. But, one of mine is in those top 3. So, Will, I want to shake it to you. Who do you think is going to come out winning the Heisman?
Coming out winning. It's tough to obviously say now through 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I mean, we look at Caleb Williams. I mean, that offense is lighting it up under Lincoln Riley. I mean, have they really played anybody like worthwhile? I mean,
San Jose State.
Yeah, I mean,
Nevada.
nothing
Nevada.
too crazy.
They've put up like 50. They played 3 games, and they put up like 56, 56, and like 60 something.
San Jose State, Nevada, and Stanford.
Yeah, I mean they're obviously I'd say Caleb Williams is a front runner at the moment. I mean, you got Shedeur Sanders. I mean, he's surprising everybody because
you got Travis Hunter now coming in.
Trav Hunt.
Yeah,
he's a big option
because
he plays both sides of the ball.
Another Travis, got Jordan Travis, Florida State.
Yeah,
I think
a lot of Travis.
Drake May.
Yeah.
But, a lot of names. You got to pick one, big boy.
For now, I'm gonna go Caleb Williams. I'll play it safe. That's what I'm gonna do for now. But I mean, I think Jordan Travis. He's coming into Clemson in 2 weeks. That'll be a big test. I mean, if you can come into Death Valley, no matter how good the Clemson team is, I feel like that's a.
Yeah, I mean, winning any game like that on the road.
Same thing with Drake May. I mean, we'll see more of him, but I'm gonna go with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I mean, I would say as of right now, if the season was gonna end, then I would give it to Shedeur Sanders. But I don't think as a season that's gonna be able to keep up. I think that Caleb Williams will get more national attention now that he'll start to be playing the Oregons, and they're gonna have to play Colorado, like all these kind of rising teams in the Pac-12 that like people are gonna want to watch because they have good quarterbacks now. So my pick would also be Caleb Williams. I mean, obviously he won it last year. This year he's already off to a great start. You could have Sanders go off again for 400 yards. Is he going to stay like that? Maybe. Who knows? He would win it if the season ended right now. But same thing with you, kind of safe pick. I would go Williams.
Where is that Colorado USC game?
It's
I don't even know when it is either.
in Colorado, I think.
Wow, another college game
Yeah.
day visit might be coming their way.
Yeah.
Heisman showdown.
Can't
action.
wait till that game's on Pac-12 Network and no one can watch it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They always do
That's
that,
why
yes.
everyone's leaving their conference. Yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna say Colorado has to play USC week. I guess there's week 0, so week 5, in Boulder. I was gonna say that's kind of a swing, but I have a really surprising pick for Heisman.
Mm.
It's Caleb Williams. I think
No.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
What a shock.
If you look at okay,
I mean, I
I
hate to
was-
be like
basic.
I don't wanna be
basic.
boring,
Yeah,
not
I'm
even
like
hot.
boring. Like I'm not picking
But,
like a Bo
I've seen
Nix or
that man
someone.
play
Yeah.
quarterback, and
Yeah.
he is electric.
Yeah.
Right, he's
Really is.
obvious #1 consensus pick if he enters
Mhm.
the draft this year. Even
Yeah.
though he said he may not, it might wait till next year if he doesn't like the team because he knows he's the goddamn
So
#1 pick.
the Cardinals.
Yeah,
he doesn't
the
like
Cardinals.
the Cardinals.
It's gonna-
Oh, yeah.
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 Surely.
But yeah, first of all, I want to say this. I was watching the Stanford game at USC. The glazing was a little too crazy
Yeah.
from the announcers, but some of the things he did were insane.
Yeah.
Like that man can on the run throw a ball 50, 60 yards, like Joe Milton arm power.
I mean, playing like that, I would glaze him too.
yeah.
I mean, he's
They glaze the sidearm like crazy, but that
Yeah.
sidearm was low key fire.
Yeah, it was.
Like there's maybe
we're
like
hating
too
on
much-
glazing as we're glazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Okay, but it's a level. You know?
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
know. Yeah.
It's like Caleb was.
I mean, yeah, it's the fact that like they're supposed to be neutral.
yeah.
Like they're not supposed to have a side, and they're like obviously like
Well, they're like oh, we got Cal Stan or they got USC Cal. Oh, we got
Yeah.
USC and Stanford. man.
USC.
Might as well make it as fun as we can.
Yeah.
But that kid is insane. He
Mhm.
knows how to play quarterback. His scrambling is insane. His arm talent is nice. Sidearm is nice. I don't know what that man can't do at quarterback. But I'm scared, right? And what I think will maybe sway some of the voters is not only voter fatigue because it's Heisman, and they're only in the league for 3-4 years in the NCAA, right? But how well can they actually make the college football playoffs this year, right? That's kind of the big question. Usually in the Pac-12, if you get one loss, you're kind of kicked out most of the time,
Yeah.
especially if you're not a conference champion.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're done. So
I think the Pac-12 is different this year, though. I
yeah,
think it's
yeah,
actually
tough.
competitive now.
Yeah, it
I
is.
think it's fun to watch.
Yeah,
It is.
it is fun. You got all these high tier quarterbacks
I
going
want to see.
at it.
I want to see DJ with Oregon State against like a good team.
Yeah,
Yeah, honestly.
They played San Jose State, right? And then they played
like Oregon State,
UCBs.
Oregon.
Yeah.
That'll be a good
Yeah,
game.
that'd be awesome.
right. Well, that's
Can't
one
wait
of
to
my
watch
rivalries.
that at 11:30 p.m.
Hey, Pac-12 after
On
dark.
a-
has a
yeah,
whole
at,
meeting
some
now.
after dark action.
Okay, but
Yeah.
that's the best time to watch.
Yeah,
After dark.
yeah, I can make it
It's like
through
your team's
one
gotta
quarter
win
and then
or
I'm
loss.
You're
home.
down 150.
Yeah.
You just want to have some good football.
Bama just took all of your money, and now you
They
gotta
did that to me. They robbed me.
now you gotta bet Cal at 11 o'clock to get
Okay,
the
yeah.
money back.
Yeah.
They play San Diego State. That's not a bad game.
No, I mean it's better.
I mean, they lost to UCLA 35-10 at home, but it's not a bad game.
Yeah.
Oh wait, never mind. They only beat Idaho State by 8. All right, my fault.
Who
They're
knows?
25-point favorites. My fault.
So what do you
Well-
guys think about Travis Hunter? I think if he keeps up to what he's been doing, not saying he will, but if he
Yeah.
does offensively and defensively throughout the rest of the season, how can you not give it to
Yeah,
him?
dude's crazy. I remember watching, saw it on Instagram, but it was the post-game interview with Dion after the game, talking about Travis Hunter, and he's like, yeah, we missed him on 2 deep balls. If he gets those, we get those deep balls to him, then he's got the Heisman chilling in his crib.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
Colorado's obviously got,
Deion's
2
got
guys,
so
but
much swag.
yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Well, I don't.
Makes you want to run through a brick wall sometimes.
I can't even imagine if that's like even humanly possible
Yeah.
to play like damn near every snap.
That's
offense
Clearly it
and
is.
defense.
'Cause he's
Yeah, it's
goddamn
crazy.
doing it.
All right, yeah, but it's week 2 though. Is he gonna
No, he can do
gonna
it.
make it through the season?
Yeah, he can do it.
Yeah.
No, I
Unless he
don't
doesn't get
think
an
so.
injury, he can do it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a bit. That's part of it.
Exactly. But
He's
that's
gonna
how
be
they stand.
obviously more prone to an injury.
Yeah, but
But-
I think he can do it.
Yeah, no, I saw him like tired out there like twice.
Dude's
Yeah,
an animal.
he's tough, right?
Yeah.
And he's doing something that we don't really see often. But to me, it's the numbers.
Really haven't seen since Dion
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
NFL.
That's what I'm saying. So
It's
like,
crazy.
you don't see it often at
Yeah.
all. But it's got to be the numbers that he puts up on both sides of the ball. right?
Mhm.
So to me, if he's good on both sides, he's not going to win Heisman. I think he needs to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as impressive. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
but
you're chilling.
as impressive as it is, playing both sides of the ball and being able to, I don't think that's enough. If he continues to compete at the way he has with, getting picks, getting all these pass breakups, and then on offense catching touchdowns, even running the ball. Like, if he continues to do that, then that's, you're the best offensive and defensive player in the nation.
Yeah.
Or not best, but, up there.
But, like, I don't want to, glaze too hard, but it's like Shohei, right?
Yeah.
That man is excellent. He's a really good pitcher, and he's an excellent batter, right?
Yeah.
And that's what makes him the MVP. Is not only is he good on one side, but he does it on both sides. So, like, I think if he does it good, then he's not going to win it. He's got to put up numbers at least on one side of the ball that puts up, like, A tier, like, corner, A tier wide receiver, and definitely at least B tier in one of the others.
I feel like, as they play harder teams, we'll start to,
see.
realize what position he actually is. Is he a corner? Is he a wide receiver? Because, like, who knows now? He's both. He could play kicker for all we know.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. But, like, they're finally playing harder teams. TCU, on the road, I mean, TCU is a good team, but they're kind of depleted from the 2020 or 2022 national championship game. So I don't think like TCU is a crazy like it's still a great win, especially for that program. But I don't think it's like you're facing the toughest, right?
I mean, giving their expectations, winning at TCU
What was the spread on that
crazy.
Game?
21.
Yeah.
21.
I was in the same boat y'all were. With
and TCU, like, they still have a great offense. They still have. Yeah, my TCU bet.
I was
minus 21.
I was thinking Colorado got no more than 3 wins this year.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
I saw the line at 4.5, and I was like, wow, that was kind of low. But then I think about it, I was like, they were a horrible team last year, right?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Bringing a lot of new guys.
But then even going into the Nebraska game, everyone's like, all right, like TCU, that's just one game. Or at least me.
Yeah.
They're gonna start playing some real Big Ten defense, like some 13-10. And and obviously that was true. The Big Ten offense for Nebraska showed up, but not their defense.
That's what happens when you have a Georgia Tech quarterback.
Yeah.
Come in.
Well, their defense showed up in portions of the game, right? But not near the end.
I mean, not near the end. I mean, they put up crazy numbers.
No, good for Dion, good for Colorado. Kind of good.
America's team.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It really is America's team.
It really is.
And I'm happy it's kind of a different program than your Blue Bloods. Because it brings something new to watch, some new fans, new for college football, all that stuff. So we all have Caleb Williams to win the Heisman.
As of week 2.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, obviously, more things.
How many guys have won the Heisman twice? Isn't it like one guy? Like the Ohio State running back from like way back.
Which I think there's been got to be more than once. Because
you got to look that up.
Way back.
Not sure. I mean,
Yeah.
probably. There's probably a guy like 5 years ago, and we're all just blanking.
I'll fact check her right now.
There's no way.
So
I mean, there's for sure been guys like at the ceremony.
Forget that there's an Ohio State.
Yeah, there's definitely a ceremony.
Yeah.
Because Deshaun was at the ceremony twice.
Yeah.
So I mean, there you go. Definitely happens. Only one player, Ohio State's Archie Griffin.
Yeah, that's
good job. See, that was some good.
I didn't know the name, but when did he play? The 70s.
That's some ball. That's some ball knowledge right there.
Yeah, that's why he's on the pod instead of that horrible ass Take Barron kid.
Yeah,
he's a good
You
guy.
currently just earned yourself a paycheck, kid.
There we go.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you're permanently on now.
Yeah, that was kind of a play and a half right there.
Some NIL money for you.
There we go.
Damn right.
Just hopefully you don't transfer away because
it's bow time.
Yeah,
yeah, there you go.
We have you early, so don't transfer away.
Yeah. It's good old Clemson.
Yeah, because that's good old Clemson, of course.
So, how do y'all think? I kind of want to progress this, going into future weeks because I don't know when the next one will be. But how do y'all think Florida State will do in the Valley?
I think having it a noon game obviously makes a big difference. I mean, everyone when they saw that game on the schedule, once the preseason rankings came out, we were like, oh, it's an 8:00 game, college game day. Like, there's no way we don't lose to Duke, but here we are. I don't know. I mean, obviously the atmosphere is going to be amazing regardless. 81,500 people, sold out game.
Stats.
I don't know. It's tough to say though right now. I mean, I think we keep it. Are you asking me to predict it or?
Sure. Just your analysis, predictions.
I mean, obviously Clemson's got to clean up the turnovers. This is
100%.
that's a major problem. That's obvious. I'm just curious to see how Cade Klubnik does against like a defense like that. You know, it's
Well, I don't
he
even.
seems a little unsettled in the pocket, not fully dialed in back there. I don't know. It's a tough call. It just depends on that.
To me, I don't even know what to think about. I don't even know if I 100% believe in Florida State.
Yeah, that's a good
Like
point.
they had a good statement win against LSU, but going to the same thing earlier, is LSU bad or is Florida State good?
Yeah.
This kid's insane, bro. Florida State's good. They're the real deal.
I mean, we'll see.
I mean, I just
the
hope we don't
real
run
deal.
into a 2013 situation and they come in, it's 51-14.
I mean, are they number 4 team in the country real deal though?
Yeah.
I think
Who's
they
better
are.
than
I think
them?
they
I
are,
don't know.
dude.
Who's better than them?
I don't know. It's
Can you
too
imagine how
early.
hyped that would be, though?
Notre Dame, probably Alabama.
You think Notre Dame's better than them?
Yeah.
No.
No way.
No.
I mean, Sam Hartman's good, and who's that running back they got at Notre Dame?
No. I want to talk about Sam Hartman for a second.
Yeah, dude.
No,
Okay.
Sam Hartman. No. Okay, that.
I mean, we
okay.
saw it last year
So-
when we played.
I
Wake
mean,
Forest.
we need to just have more like ranked teams so people can kind of understand
Yeah.
No. Sam
what
Hartman's
team's
a dog.
identity. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm not 100% full. I mean, we'll probably go into Clemson and win by 28 points, and then I'll be like, all right, like they're
I
legit.
keep forgetting we got to play. Literally, we got Jordan Travis coming in,
Yeah, they
Drake
got
May,
Audric Estime.
and Sam Hartman
Yeah.
coming into
Yeah.
Clemson. I mean,
Sam
wow,
Hartman.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of good guys.
No, Sam Hartman knows how to. We saw him sling the rock at Wake Forest, and
Yeah.
now he comes to Notre Dame.
No, I love Notre Dame this year. I think
You're high on him?
they're a sleeper. I'm very high on them.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
It's not your typical Notre Dame of like get to the playoffs and it's like just complete disappointment. I
Yeah.
think
No,
these guys are legit
it's
for
different.
once.
Their defense is actually playing
Yeah,
good.
they're dogs.
Their offense, I mean, they rolled through Navy.
Yeah.
They
Which-
don't play Florida State this year. They play Ohio State at home. They got
Yeah.
USC at home. They got Clemson on the road. Those are some solid matchups right there.
Really good.
Other than that, they got Louisville, Pitt, Wake. So yeah, Duke. I think they could get upset. I don't see them being I see them being a 2-loss team.
Notre Dame.
I think USC and I think USC will beat them.
Nah, that'll be a crazy good game.
I think that'll be a good game, but I think USC will beat them, and I think Ohio State can figure it out. I like Ohio State's defense this year.
Yeah.
Their offense needs to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like their defense this year. I think that.
I think they will figure it out.
I think the spread in that game should be like 1.5.
For what?
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Actually, it could be Notre Dame too. You never know.
Yeah.
At home in South Bend. Damn, I might take back my prediction, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But-
we're sleeping on Notre Dame.
I'm not
telling
sleeping
you.
on. You're sleeping on Florida State. That's what's for real.
I
Who's
am
better than Florida State?
I am snoozing. Notre Dame is.
No, they're not. Okay,
We'll
who's-
find out. We'll find out.
I'm not.
Who's Florida State
I'm not.
losing to?
I'm not saying Florida.
Who is Florida
I'm
State?
not
gotta look at
saying
their
they're
schedule.
frauds. I'm just saying I'm not 100%.
Who do they have on their schedule?
Until
Florida
until I see Florida State keep going full steam ahead, and or LSU we've learned is not a complete dumpster fire, and their week 1 win won't look horrible, and obviously we have the week 4.
But Florida State's
games
going
that will
undefeated.
Answer both of those questions.
What questions? Florida State's going undefeated.
I need to see
Let's
the
see.
schedule.
Read out loud.
Let's break down here. All right, so we have at Boston College next week.
Dub.
Should be a win.
Yeah, hopefully.
At
BC this
Clemson
Dub by at least 15.
one.
Florida State big win. Take it.
I don't think so.
versus
They might
Virginia
shock the world.
Tech
Dub.
versus Syracuse.
Dub. If it's Syracuse at home. Dub.
Yeah.
Versus Duke.
Dub.
Yeah.
At home.
At Wake Forest.
Dub.
And-
Wake Forest
yeah,
wash.
They're not good.
At Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Dumb.
win. Yeah.
Versus Miami.
Dub. I'm
Yeah.
scared for that Pitt game,
Yeah.
but
You said for the Pitt game?
I think it'll be like a.
I think
What day is it?
Miami can put up a fight
What-
too.
And
that is a rivalry game. What day is the Pitt's game or Pitt game? Is it November, October?
It's November 4th.
I think that would be like a scrappy game,
yeah.
like a dog fight. But I think Florida State comes out.
Yeah. And then Miami and then Florida.
Florida.
Damn, they are going undefeated.
They're going undefeated.
Nah.
Well,
They're
not till
winning
they-
the ACC
I mean,
championship.
Hey, I think
too.
Clemson's their toughest opponent. I'm
Yeah.
not biased. I'm just saying
Yeah.
atmosphere-wise and everything that's happening. I don't know. That's going to be the true test. they come out of Clemson with a win, I think they're going undefeated.
Yeah, I
They're
mean,
going undefeated.
I mean, it just depends. I mean, it looks like to me how they get those wins. Are they blowing them out by 30 like they did with LSU?
I mean, they blew out.
Or
Southern Miss
are they
by
or
59,
or are they
30,
gonna
20,
be
29
are they
points
gonna
by
beat
59.
Wake Forest at home by 3 points?
No.
What kind of wins are we getting?
Well, it's different. It's like if you win by like 3 one time, but you keep blowing out. That you just had a lapse of judgment. Other than that, I mean, they blew out Southern Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. Blew out LSU. Not bad.
After
Right.
Brian Kelly's like, we're gonna beat the hell out of Florida State, and he's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And after the game, he's like, yeah, we're.
But
not
we
the
don't
football
we don't
team I
know
thought
if
we
that's
were.
not bad. We don't know if LSU is good or not, though.
I
A
don't
lot of
think-
people
I
think they're
don't
bad.
LSU's insane, but I think they're a good football team.
I mean, I think they're good, but I don't think they should be ranked like they were 9 or whatever they were in that game.
What were they ranked? We were.
I think they're 9.
They were
We
9.
were-
It was
we
like
were
9 and 11, 9 and 7, something like that.
Clemson was 9 when they played Duke. I know that, so I don't know.
Oh,
maybe
LSU was like
maybe it was like
7.
I think
8.
it was 8.
It was, either way,
Maybe
it was a top 10 match.
It was like 8-5
Right.
or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Something like that.
No, LSU was 5.
Florida State was
Yeah.
4.
No,
Six.
Florida State
Florida
was like
State was like
8.
8. I
Yeah,
think.
that's
Florida State
right,
was a
that's
lower
right.
rank.
Yeah.
LSU was
Yeah.
the 5.
And then
Yeah.
Florida, and then they won that game, and then Florida State made that huge jump.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
So, no,
See.
Florida State's going undefeated. They're making the college football playoff, right? The only team I have faith in beating Florida State is Clemson because Clemson has the talent. That's the biggest faith I have right now. Other than that, maybe Miami, but it's.
I mean,
in Doak Campbell.
Miami's shown some life.
Yeah,
They
it's
are.
It's in
Who's their
Doak
quarterback?
Campbell.
I forget his name. He's been playing well.
It's not Van Dyke anymore, so I don't know.
Isn't
I'm
that-
not sure, but they got
whoever it is.
a big SEC win this past
They
weekend.
beat whatever his name,
A&M.
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Jimbo overrated again.
So yeah, speaking about the SEC, does
it
besides
is Van Dyke. I knew I was right.
Okay, yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's
because they
balling.
faced Connor Weigman. Yeah.
so
Why am I tripping on that?
so shifting
He's
over
old as
to the SEC, besides obviously Georgia, is the SEC kind of not
Van
not
Dyke
as
feels like a Stetson.
Yeah.
not as good as what we think.
SEC?
With all the SEC teams losing and struggling.
Yeah, I think
recently.
there's more parity in the league or in the NCAA this
There
year.
is, yeah.
Once again, like I said, there is plus value on Georgia going undefeated in the regular season. I love it. I think it's gonna happen, right? So I don't. Other than Georgia, I don't see
who's beating them. Who do they play? I guess
they play nobody.
Yeah.
Georgia?
They don't even.
their hardest opponents are gonna be South Carolina and
And
Tennessee.
they don't even like travel that far either. Like, what's the farthest they travel? Like 2 states
3
over.
combined states.
Yeah, it's like
bro.
ridiculous. It's like
They play a
What are we
lot of
doing
home
here?
games.
Well, yeah, they're gonna play. Yeah, South Carolina, Tennessee.
Mhm.
I'm sure Florida
yeah.
in
Yeah.
there, which is
They gotta go. They gotta go to Gainesville for that.
No, they always
No,
play
it's-
that in a
it's
neutral
neutral
site.
site,
And,
yeah,
where do they
neutral
play
Not
that?
Gainesville. What
Orlando.
is that? Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville,
That's
yeah,
what-
yeah.
that's
I would
why
be a
messed
little
up.
bit more concerned if it was in Gainesville,
Yeah.
but it's not. I mean, it's especially if Florida has a bad season.
I
it's
told him
gonna
that. I
be-
was like, oh, it's in Tallahassee, but that's Florida State. I'm just
Yeah.
too busy on my Florida State train,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't blame 'em.
because they are going undefeated. I'll keep saying it my damn self.
But kind of adding on to that, I do think Georgia is more beatable this year than they've been in the past.
Yeah. I agree
Yeah, I
with
haven't
that.
seen much
Yeah.
of there. What's their quarterback's name?
Carson Beck.
Carson Beck, yeah.
How could I forget? The
Yeah.
famous Snapchat.
The famous
Oh,
Snapchat.
the
That's the
Oh,
only.
yeah.
The
Everyone's
fact that
seen
I
that
remember him
picture.
only off of that is the funny part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they got at Auburn. That could be a tough game.
Oh yeah. Hugh Freeze there in Auburn.
At Vandy. Whew. What a tough one that is.
Yeah, no,
At
that doesn't
Tennessee's
even
a
count.
hard game.
Okay.
Yeah.
At Tennessee.
I don't think they'll have a problem with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Tennessee struggled against Austin Peay first half.
I mean, depending how Tennessee does against Florida this
Yeah, how do you think
weekend.
Tennessee's gonna do against Florida this week?
In
No, I haven't
the
watched.
swamp, prime time,
I don't know why. What?
their offense just
Well, I haven't watched much.
dropped
of
an
Tennessee.
egg against Utah
Joe
a couple
Milton.
weeks ago.
I mean, Joe Milton
Watched a
can
lot of
sling it.
Tennessee.
Yeah,
I mean, I got to see him when we struggled against them in the Orange Bowl, but I think Tennessee wins that game. Obviously, Florida didn't look so great. What do they have? That what was his name? Graham Mertz,
Graham
that old
Mertz,
Wisconsin
yep,
quarterback.
yep.
Yeah, they got that Big Ten quarterback, and their offense looking like a Big Ten offense. So even though it's in Gainesville, I'm thinking Tennessee wins that game.
You think?
Yeah.
Is it closer?
will?
Is it closer than what people think?
What's the spread on the game?
6.5.
6 or 6.5, I
Favor
believe.
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
got Tennessee by over 10 actually.
Over
By
10.
10?
Yeah. I
Over
don't think.
10?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee bounces back. Even in the swamp, I think they bounce back.
Yeah, dude.
What about Florida? Florida can't bounce back?
Florida's had a big win too, versus McNeese State,
What
49-7.
was it, like 49-7?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Huge win.
something
it's a
like
big
that.
win.
I mean, everyone watched their game against Utah and is completely riding them off the ship, and I think it's a little bit of an
That's a
overreaction.
tough atmosphere, Utah.
yeah, it is.
Small but tough.
No, that's
Yeah,
a tough
so
atmosphere.
was it a tough atmosphere or is Florida bad?
I think Florida's bad.
Florida's
I think it's a combo of both.
y'all
To be
are-
honest.
I think y'all a little bit too premature. When-
I mean, keep in mind Utah didn't even have what's his. Why am I'm forgetting all the quarterbacks' names? Their star quarterback.
Cam
Cam Rising
Rising.
was
Cam
injured,
Rising.
though.
Yeah,
He
when
was
they were,
injured.
Yeah, I know. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
the fact that they still lost by that
But-
much.
They only lost by like what 12?
Yeah, but they
It
scored
was-
like a.
Yeah, they.
It was like
scored in the
24-3
end.
for a long time.
Yeah,
something
it
like
was
that.
the score was way closer than like what the actual
Yeah.
game
felt
was.
Right,
yeah,
right.
When you watched that game, it felt like Utah should have been up by at least 31.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Florida's not that good.
No.
I don't think they're that good.
I mean, we'll see.
We'll see what when they don't make a bowl game.
When Tennessee comes to town under the lights in the swamp.
You want to put money on it? You want to put money on it?
No,
We can do a little personal bet. I'll take the 6.5.
I'll think about it.
Word. How much you want to throw in at $10?
I'll think about it. I'll get back to you off camera.
Off camera?
Yeah. Once we get closer to game time.
Alright, yeah.
It's gotta get the adrenaline up.
Mm-hmm.
Should be a good game.
So
I probably won't even watch it if Clemson's playing.
Oh, yeah.
well, Clemson plays at 8. So if we go, we'll see.
I'll be looking at the out of town scores.
On
And
the-
Tennessee will
on
be
the
up
screen.
28-0.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
exactly what to say. 28-0. It's like start of the second quarter. You're like, what the fuck happened?
Meanwhile, we just threw a pick 6 to FAU and we're down 10
Oh my God!
in the
Don't,
first
don't
quarter.
remind me of what's to come.
Yeah, yeah. Enough about that. But
Like, no.
Nah. So well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand the schedule to you. Tell me if you think there's gonna be a ranked team upset this week.
Ranked team, I gotta scroll.
Also,
all
do you
the
think
way up.
South Carolina's gonna make any noise?
no.
Their O-line is just a mess.
Yeah.
Their
And I mean,
line is a mess.
I
I mean,
mean,
we were talking about it before the podcast. I mean, North Carolina's defense is just not that good, and they racked up 9 sacks.
Yeah,
against
and
that team?
they put up like 17, 16, however many points against North Carolina. How the story of them last year was how historically bad their defense was.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like I believe in teams and players and groups getting better, but
You don't have to find one. There can be none.
I'm not really seeing any that. I mean, I think obviously I have good games like Minnesota, North Carolina, but I think I'm not really seeing any like upsets. I want to say like Georgia Tech, Ole Miss could be interesting, but Ole Miss beat them 42-0 in Bobby Dodd last year, and they got Jackson Dart, so I don't want to. I think that's a problem.
no, Ole Miss is good. We can talk about
Yeah.
them for a little bit.
Talk
Yeah,
about
that
a
game
loaded
against
quarterback
Tulane.
room.
Yeah, their quarterback room's
Unbelievable.
insane. They have no worries at all if I'm them.
You think?
Just defensive, unless it's defensively, yeah. But like offensively, it should
What
be
about
good.
like when they play Bama? Who you got?
I don't see anything
I
happening
think,
this week.
I think it's into Denny.
Oh, then I'll have to go Bama for
Okay.
sure. I mean, even if it I would neutral site or even at in Ole Miss in Oxford, I would kind of still give the lead or the edge to Bama just because their defense is so much
I
better.
like Bama's defense too,
Yeah.
but there were just some miscommunications against Texas.
Yeah, I mean it's early on in the season. That's gonna happen. That's why a lot of teams kind of schedule cupcakes.
True.
But if you want to make a statement early, that's what you do, like Texas did.
Clemson's got Georgia week 1 next year.
Yeah,
In Atlanta, right?
Yep, in the
I would
Benz.
so go to that if the tickets probably were like $1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as far as
I need to
week
find, like-
3 is concerned,
Find like my friend's dad's cousin's dog probably has 2 tickets because
Right.
he's in some weird business that somehow gets tickets to that game.
yeah.
I'm not seeing any noise week 3. I mean, Mississippi State LSU kind of looks interesting, but I mean,
I like that game.
yeah,
Is it at Mississippi State or at LSU?
at Mississippi State.
I think that'll be a good
Yeah.
game.
Cowbells be ringing, wherever
Yeah.
they call them.
Yeah, the Cowbells.
I like that game. I like
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I think it's a
I mean,
boring
it doesn't
week.
really like.
I want to say South Carolina can maybe make noise, but they're not against
Exactly.
Georgia's defense.
You're
No
a liar.
chance.
So how many points do you think they're gonna put up against Georgia? Like
South Carolina? I
realistically,
mean,
yeah.
Spencer Rattler's still obvious. He put up some decent numbers against Carolina, despite losing by what was it, 30? What was the score? I don't even remember.
Last year?
No, this year against North Carolina. It was like 35-17, 31.
Spencer Rattler's looked good.
Yeah.
Kind of as a player, but as an offensive unit in
really
general.
Good against Furman, even though it's Furman, I think he had.
I mean, he's a baller.
His first 25 passes, he was like 22 of 25.
Yeah. I mean, I hate giving a South Carolina quarterback credit, but I mean, he's pretty good. But to AJ was talking about it before the podcast started, but I mean, Georgia is a completely different defense than UNC.
They're on a whole different tier.
I can see them scoring like 17. But I think Georgia's scoring like 40, 30, 35.
17. That's
the most.
That's the amount they scored against UNC. Are they doing that against Georgia?
Give me 13.
13. I was thinking about saying 13.
Give me a third quarter, late third quarter, or a fourth quarter touchdown.
35-13 kind of game.
So I believe they're
give me a 41-13 game.
41. Wow. Okay, yeah, I see it.
I believe their line for team total is 13.5.
Okay.
So kind of right where y'all we're thinking. Are they going over? Or are they going under that?
They're hitting 13. Vegas knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
So is it a 13-21 kind of game, or is it a 13-42
Georgia
kind of game?
Always, right? It's now giving me like Clemson vibes back then. Georgia, when they play a really bad team, they never run the score up, even though it's like they beat Ball
They really
State
don't.
45-3. I feel like they can beat that team by 60, you know?
Yeah.
They played, I forgot who they played week 1. They played they played UT Martin.
Yeah.
They beat them by like 42 or 41.
It wasn't anything like eye-popping.
Yeah, they didn't have a spread, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to like,
I mean,
SEC
those spreads
teams,
are like 50.
They know those games mean something.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's like LeBron in the regular season and the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like they turn on another gear. They don't give a shit about who you are. They beat you down for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you're done.
Old school.
At some point, they feel bad for the smaller schools, but once SEC play starts,
because they're like, oh, we paid.
they don't care
now
anything.
And now that y'all mention it, I can see him putting 40 up on him. So I'm gonna go like 40. Brooks said what? 41-13.
Give me a 41-13.
41. Yeah.
Dang, give me like
Who covers? That means Georgia covers.
Yeah.
Barely.
45 to 13, maybe 17 at the most. Let's stick. I like the 13 call on your end though.
See, I was pointing myself.
That was good. That was good. I should have said that. I was
I'm
thinking about
preaching
saying
out
it and I didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty good.
So what you want?
What?
The team total for Carolina. How many put in up? Under like what the number?
What? How many I think they're gonna score?
No, how many do you think Carolina's gonna score? That's what I asked. So what do you think?
I didn't know. You were just asking what I wanted. I'm like, what do you mean?
No, I asked how many do you think Carolina's gonna score?
What do you mean what I want? I would say 10 to 14 around that range.
Okay.
No, pick a number, bro. We picked a number. You gotta pick
10.
10.
I like 10-13.
10.
I said too many.
They could score 70 or 17.
70.
No, 17, but they'll get a pick.
Carolina is back.
They'll get a pick 6. They score 17. Their offense is putting up 10, maybe 13.
How many? Sounds like a really bad question. Like already like thrown shade. But how many picks do you think the Rattlers would throw?
I mean, I don't think it's much so of like picks.
I mean, he's gonna be under pressure a lot.
I think
Georgia's
D line and
I feel like it's gonna be
South Carolina's
he's getting pressured, lobbing it up.
Yeah.
I think Rattler's smart.
Especially as it gets late in the game, you know, they're going to get desperate and just throw stuff up there.
Rattler's smart.
Marshall.
Yeah.
You know, he always catches it. They're going for 2, you know.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe.
I can see him throwing like 2-3.
2-3?
I think he's at 2.
I think 2's a good number.
I mean, I'm not going to say 2. I think Rattler's
He's throwing 2. I'm going to go 2.
Smarter than that.
Yeah.
But obviously he's a veteran guy. He's been around a long time. I don't think he's just going to chuck it up.
No, I think he'll chuck it up.
He'll be forced to when the
they're
score
missing
gets
they're missing tackles and offensive linemen. Like Will said, I said to him earlier.
I don't even know if he's gonna have a chance to even throw the ball.
Good point.
As soon as they snap it, then they're done. Yeah.
I feel like it's like a Madden or NCAA like video game thing where like you go with the worst team and you face like the best team, like all 9 stats, and then you just snap the ball and everyone's pancakes on the ground.
Exactly.
Like you're about to get murdered.
Like you try to run the ball and the running back.
Like game where Drew Brees like Rather's national anthem comments like the lineman snapped the ball and then didn't move and then Drew Brees got murdered.
Well, I don't think this matchup's gonna be like that, but
I think he'll get murdered.
Nah, I mean
if
we'll see.
You give up like 8 to 9 to UNC.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to disrespect UNC's line too much, you know, but they weren't as good last year compared to Georgia in that defense. Come on now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared for that, man.
I am scared. Hopefully they either run some
it's gonna be quick passes.
game plan around it, or maybe block the running back, bring in some extra protection. They gotta do something. I mean,
Beamer ball.
any team who's playing Georgia has to do something.
They might try to make some magic with a little beamer ball action.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Kirby's gonna have that dial in there.
All right,
It's not gonna work.
this is a neutral podcast.
Yeah.
We don't need to hate on.
I'm not hating.
Yeah,
I'm not hating at all. Totally not.
Yeah.
You're the biggest hater I know, bro. You're the biggest hater I know.
I wish the best for them.
I don't.
All right. Well, for the video's sake, I wish the best for them. I hope they do put up more than 7 points.
I hope they at least make the game somewhat competitive.
Yeah.
We all enjoy.
I'm not complaining about an entertaining game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, I would rather have Carolina win than Georgia win.
Well,
you
it'd make
you
our
hated
game.
them. Why would you
Yeah.
want that?
Well,
If we
it'd make
beat
our
them,
game more
it's good.
exciting though if they're good. Come November.
Exactly. And then Georgia loses, and who doesn't want to see Georgia lose besides Georgia?
Fair point. They're becoming like the Bama. Now.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would probably
Of years
rather
past.
see South Carolina lose than Georgia.
but wouldn't it be so much more rewarding to like beat a halfway decent Carolina?
So many
team?
Carolina fans will just rub it in and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you're saying that.
I mean, yeah.
Say from a non-biased
they'll
perspective.
do that regardless.
Say
Yeah.
from a non-biased perspective.
No, not you. Yeah, no, non-biased perspective. I agree. It'll be a higher anticipated game, unless Clemson can completely be trash and they'll be out of it too.
Yeah.
Or it could be both teams. It could be like the final score is like 3-0 in that game. In Clemson, Carolina.
No. No.
I mean,
I wouldn't
That was
be
the worst
surprised.
take you've had all day.
It could be.
You're looking like
both,
Barron in that scene.
both teams could be like, I don't know, like 5 and like 7.
Both those teams could be 5 and 7.
Clemson 5. Well, I mean,
You talking about Clemson and Carolina?
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I don't know.
All right. I mean, I'm just saying.
Clemson
it's
will
gonna,
have at least.
It's gonna be close.
Clemson will have at least 2 turnovers that push the ball on their own 5-yard line.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I can't agree with that.
Yeah.
At least how everything is right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll focus on this week.
Right.
So
Easy one for Georgia.
Yeah.
last thing, because I think we should start wrapping up soon.
Mhm.
I kind of want to get a gauge because I know this will probably change each week, and this is really far down the future. But just a generalized question: does anybody touch Georgia this year or no?
Now with their schedule now. I gotta look at it again.
In the regular season, no,
No,
not-
just in general. I said in general.
In general, yeah.
So see it like
Sure.
SEC title game. You think they're gonna get a challenge or no? Yes, it depends who comes out.
Depending who it is.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
if it's Bama, always, no matter what their team is. Tennessee potentially if they get their offense rolling.
See, this is crazy that I think like this may be the first time I'll ever say this in a long time, but this feels like the first kind of college football year in a minute where like I'm excited to watch Pac-12, Big Ten.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, Big 12, maybe even the ACC too. Like I
Yeah.
want to see if Florida State can keep that run of dominance.
Yeah.
But
It
like
makes it all
the
more
SEC,
exciting.
like I'll still watch it, but like I'm expecting Georgia to win everything. You know?
I mean, I feel like this is the first year we're like going into the season. We're not like there's 4, maybe 5 teams that are going to win the national championship, and like that's all we need to watch. I feel like now it's opened up to
No, I don't.
maybe
think it
even
is, though.
12.
I don't think it is
Why not?
because I think it's Georgia and then the rest. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, but any team can win the Big 12. Any team can win the Pac-12. Besides Georgia, the SEC could fluctuate all over the place.
True.
ACC, same exact thing. Notre Dame, who knows what they'll end
that's what
up
I'm
doing.
saying. Is like I'm excited to watch every other conference.
Yeah.
Except for the SEC, I feel like it's always just gonna be Georgia on top until the playoff.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Georgia right now is untouchable in the SEC, but
Exactly. So I feel like Pac-12, they look exciting. USC currently the forefront of that, but I feel like it's not just USC. In the Big 12, it's not just Texas.
yeah. But
That's what I'm
I feel like they could even be in the position where they go 12-0, they lose the SEC championship game, and they still make the playoffs.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
If they go 12-0 in the regular season, they're locked, no matter what. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless there's some crazy 5 somehow undefeated, which there never is,
Yeah.
they are locked. So.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how dominant their wins are, but
Yeah.
they're good. You can always count on Georgia. It's a good program right there.
Great program.
Yeah.
Best program in the last 5 years, definitely. So.
Yep.
All right. So national champion is early. Do you think it's going to be them, or do you think the field will give them a challenge?
So is the question
I would say, do you think
Georgia or the
is gonna-
field?
Yeah.
I would say I'm gonna go the field just
All right.
because their offense hasn't been the best.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, their defense is good, but until I see a Stetson Bennett offense where they can actually prove themselves
Okay.
against these high-powered teams, I'm gonna go the field.
All right.
Wouldn't be surprised
I'm
if
gonna go-
Georgia loses.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Or
field
wins.
as well for sure.
You go field.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go Georgia.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna three-peat.
I just don't know if they'll really be tested. Besides, I mean, I can circle. I'm looking at their schedule now. I mean, at Auburn, you never know. With the
I
whole
think
heat.
that
could be a game to
it's
circle.
Auburn. I think the environment's
It
gonna
really
be
could
the
be.
biggest
And then,
challenge.
I mean, I guess the Florida game's neutral.
Not really.
Mississippi,
neutral, dude.
Ole Miss, I guess, but
It's
that's at
neutral,
Georgia,
but it's-
at Tennessee.
No, they're not gonna get tested until the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
If they were to lose any game, it's SEC championship because they're already a lock in the playoffs, or in the playoffs because they're generally outplayed.
So, I mean, I guess we don't agree here. I'm gonna take Georgia. I just don't see who's gonna kind of make a challenge right now, at least.
Yeah, I mean
I'll
it's
probably
early.
change
We'll start to see what teams are legit and what teams aren't.
Yeah. Well, I think that should wrap it up.
Yeah.
Will, I want to say thank you for hopping on.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
But I think
been
that's
great.
wrapped up.
Yeah, it's been great talking.
Episode 1 of college football.
There we go. More to
So,
come, hopefully.
Hopefully we
That's
get
exciting.
back to
Plenty to
that
talk about.
soon. AJ, Will, Brooks, thank y'all for watching.
Yeah,
this full
thank
thing,
y'all.
And peace.